Acti, desert dawn. The bus creaked through the desert sands as dawn spread its vibrant colors across the sky. Inside, Nora shivered, pulling her coat tighter against the morning chill. Her fingers clasped together felt cold against the drafty window. Beside her, Amina exuded warmth, her bright eyes reflecting the unfolding dawn. They shared steaming tea from a thermos, a small comfort against the cold. Amina recited softly, "Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path." Her gaze on the horizon, Nora, heavy with unspoken burdens, let the verse settle into her heart. She felt the weight of unconfessed truths pressing on her like heavy stones. Closing her eyes, she leaned back, seeking peace and prayer. "Lord of mercy," she whispered, "show me the way I feel lost." Her plea, though shadowed by sorrow, held a seed of hope, longing for guidance under the vast sky. The sun traveled across the sky, casting shadows over the sands as the bus halted at a desert outpost. The evening air was cool, carrying the memory of the day's heat. Nora and Amina stepped out, the desert scent mingling with the fading sun's glow. Sensing Nora's struggle, Amina offered the thermos again, a steadying weight in Nora's hands. In quiet moments, Amina said softly, "We hear the shepherd calling us to courage." Nora felt the need to unburden her soul and sought a quiet spot on the cool sands to pray. "Holy One," she began, her voice tentative yet resolute, "I have harbored secrets, give me strength to reveal them, to find wholeness." In the sacred silence, she felt embraced by a presence, a profound shift within her, unlocking a door to light and relief. Twilight transformation. Night enveloped the bus, stars shimmering in the vast sky like scattered jewels. The constellations mirrored Nora's newfound resolve. She turned to Amina, finding strength in her warm gaze. "I have something to confess," she said. Her voice steady, Amina listened with tender compassion. As Nora spoke, a deep release accompanying her words, freeing her from invisible chains. Amina's affirmations flowed gently, dispelling the night's shadows. The transformation in Nora was profound by the time the bus reached its destination. Her confession had become a guiding lantern, illuminating her heart and path with truth and grace. Eternal guide, thank you for the light of your wisdom, for the courage to face the shadows within. Keep the lamp of your love burning bright in my heart. Guide my footsteps in the way of truth. Amen. Journey through the desert night. Act I, the desert bus. Samuel boarded the rusted bus as the sun dipped below the horizon, leaving a canvas of bruised purples and melancholic blues. Long shadows danced over the cracked asphalt, while a soft desert rain whispered musically against the windows. The scent of damp earth mingled with the fragrant sage lining the road, lending unexpected sweetness to the air. Samuel carried a small duffel worn from many journeys, and a thermos of tea, its earthy aroma soothing his senses. He settled into his seat, wiped the rain from his face with a calloused hand, and closed his eyes. His lips moved silently, whispering a prayer to the shepherd of his soul. Each word was a plea for safe passage through the desolate night, casting light on unspoken regrets that gnawed at his conscience. The bus started with a groan, and as it rumbled into motion, his fingers brushed over the thermos, seeking its warmth. He murmured into the tender night, "Lord of mercy, guide my steps. This burden feels too great for my weary heart." A stranger's road see through the night, its headlights cutting through the dense darkness, like a ship's beam across a midnight sea. Occasionally, the silhouette of a cactus or the flicker of a lone star disrupted the monochrome panorama inside. Passengers remained silent, bound by an unspoken pact, forged in the shared intimacy of a journey through the night. Their faces washed in dim and flickering light were a tapestry of untold stories and silent dreams. Next to Samuel sat an elderly woman with silver hair pulled back into an elegant bun. Her face bore the gentle lines of time, a testament to decades of laughter and tears. She bent down to retrieve a weathered Bible from her pack, its leather cover frayed from years of loving use. She opened it with reverence, offered Samuel a gentle smile that seemed to hold years of wisdom, and spoke softly, "My son, a verse for your journey. Do not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." The words wrapped around his heart like a comforting embrace. Soothing his restless soul, Samuel handed her the thermos with gratitude, watching steam curl into the cool, shared air. Their shared warmth seemed to echo his earlier prayer, a divine reminder of his request for guidance and strength. As dawn's light stretched across the horizon, the rain ceased its gentle patter, leaving the desert air crisp and cool. The sky transformed from deep indigo to soft rosy hues, promising a new beginning. Samuel awoke to the gentle rocking of the bus, a feeling of anticipation brewing in his heart. The woman's verse lingered, an insistent call to action. He knew he must confess the hidden truth, despite the fear of rejection and misunderstanding. The courage that swelled within him felt like a quiet divine nudge, urging him toward honesty and redemption. With a deep breath, he prayed, his voice a whisper amidst the waking passengers. Holy One, grant me the strength to be honest, to lay bare my soul in truth. Help me speak with love, expecting nothing in return. His heart calmed, assured that the Lord of mercy was with him, threading peace through his tightened anxiety. Later, when the bus stopped in its final destination, Samuel stepped onto the firm ground, into the desert's vast embrace. The air was fragrant with the scent of mesquite and creosote, a vivid reminder of resilience and the Lord's grace. The vast sky mirrored his own sought-after liberation, a canvas for his newfound clarity and purpose. Words came easier now, unburdened by fear. Seated on a well-worn bench in the shade of a lone mesquite tree, he pulled out his phone and dialed the number he'd avoided for too long. Brother, he began, his voice tender yet firm, fortified with the truths he had long withheld. There's something I need to tell you. Truth flowed between them like long-awaited rain, nourishing the parched ground of their relationship, washing away the guilt and paving the way for renewal. It was a restoration of bonds once thought lost, woven anew with the threads of honesty and grace. As I walk the path to the village chapel, the droplets of familiar song against my coat. The cobblestones cradle my steps, worn smooth by years of tread. Autumn's chill hinted at a coming storm, sensed but unseen, a shadow over the horizon. The sea, a rhythmic murmur, join my steps, an eternal symphony of our quiet lives. Inside, candlelight flickered, casting shadows among the benches. The air carried wax's warmth and the sea's salt, a mingling with whispered prayers to the Lord of mercy. Faces lined with both hope and worry, the fisherman's hand shaped by nets, grandmother's eyes that knew joy and loss, each a story of faith. Suddenly the door creaked open, shattering the quiet. My brother Thomas stood framed by the lantern's light, rain tracing his brow, his presence unexpected like the storm, held words unspoken. The prodigal had returned, journeying back to his origins. The storm raged furiously, wind battering the chapel windows in a symphony of nature's power, echoing our souls' cries to heaven. Thomas knelt beside me, our hands clasped in fervent prayer, our voices quivering under the weight of our burdens, rose like leaves in the gale, reaching toward the sky. Lord, shepherd of my soul, I murmured, the tempest nearly swallowing my words. We are adrift in storms within and without. Guide us, strengthen us, each phrase a lifeline cast into the abyss, seeking the Savior who calms the seas with a whisper. Thomas remained silent, his prayer a storm of repentance and hope. His unspoken confession was a prayer without words, full of meaning. As we prayed, peace settled over my heart, like dawn breaking after a restless night. Be still, the Holy One seemed to whisper, a divine command to the chaos threatening to consume us. Despite the rain, we gathered at the chapel's hearth, the sanctuary against the world's cold rage. My mother, hands trembling with age, placed bread and salt on the table, a symbol of hospitality and grace. Her eyes, shining with forgiveness, passed the bread to Thomas, her heart a mosaic of love and longing. His voice was gruff yet tender. Forgive me, he said, sincerity woven into each word. I've roamed far, but I long to anchor here. Each syllable bridged the chasm of years, casting a line toward a future bound by family and faith. Our mother responded with tears, a blend of joy and sorrow, and as they embraced, I witnessed transformation. A resolution to rebuild trust, eroded by neglect. The warmth of reconciliation spread among us, each heart a testament to forgiveness, healing grace. Turning prayer that night as the storm had bad, I lingered in the chapel, alone in the sacred space's embrace. Kneeling at the altar, I whispered a prayer into the silence. Now a balm to my soul, a river of peace washing away worry and doubt. Lord of mercy, grant me courage like the rising sun. Help us navigate these waters together, to forgive as you forgive, to embrace new beginnings. Each word a seed of faith, awaiting the dawn of renewal and hope. A warmth spread within me, a divine assurance our prayers were heard. God's presence was palpable, a gentle reminder of His watchfulness and love, holding us steady as the storm passed. Holy One, you are the calm in our storms, the beacon guiding us home in the quiet of our souls. Hear our prayers, help us bear our burdens with grace and faith through your love. May we find forgiveness and peace. Amen. Dawn in the classroom. The morning sun filtered through the half-open blinds, dappling the worn wooden floor with stripes of gold, each beam touching the space with a gentle warmth that seemed to whisper of new beginnings. I stood at the front of the classroom, where the eager chatter and bubbling energy of my fourth graders swirled around me like a playful storm. Their whispers and giggles a prelude to the reprieve of recess. The air, cool and crisp from the open window, mingled with their excitement and filled the room with a lively energy that was hard to contain. As I reached for a piece of chalk, it snapped in half with a resounding crack, drawing a wave of laughter from the sea of young faces. Amidst this delightful chaos, I closed my eyes briefly, drawing a deep breath and prayed silently. Lord of mercy, grant me patience in their storm. In that paused moment, time seemed to stretch. I sensed a presence, a gentle whisper to breathe, to let eternity's calm wash over my heart's tumultuous waves. As the children's chatter resumed, I took another deep breath, feeling its soothing balm wash over me, instilling hope and resilience into my weary spirit. With renewed calm, I stepped forward, letting my voice find harmony with their laughter, a prayer answered in the simplest of ways. The school bell, resonant and clear, signaled the beginning of lunchtime, releasing a river of children cascading onto the playground. Their laughter echoed through the once lively hallways. Now cradled in a peaceful silence, I lingered by the classroom's open door, allowing myself a moment to gather thoughts before stepping away. Amidst the scatter of papers and the occasional forgotten mitten, a small figure caught my eye. It was Daniel, the quiet boy who often slipped unnoticed into the corners, overshadowed by louder, more boisterous voices. "Miss Collins," he murmured, his fingers anxiously tugging at the edges of his worn sweater. "I forgot my lunch again." His words were soft, yet his need, raw and genuine, loomed large in the silence, closing my eyes. I offered a prayer of gratitude for the opportunity to serve, whispering, "Holy One, guide my hands and heart to do your will." With purposeful steps, I moved to my desk, retrieving snacks kept precisely for such moments of need. As I handed him a carefully prepared sandwich, his eyes widened in surprise, hope kindling brightly in their depths. "Thank you, Miss Collins," he breathed, his voice carrying a sense of wonder, stretching into the infinite, touching something beyond the moment. As the sun slowly dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of amber and violet, I sat alone in the quiet classroom, reflecting on the day's tapestry of moments. Echoes of children's laughter drifted in with the evening breeze, mingling with the gentle rustle of leaves, a lullaby of innocence and fleeting joy. Despite the day's beauty, my heart questioned the true impact of my efforts. Was I truly making a difference, or simply patching temporary cracks in a vast wall? Turning my gaze to the softly illuminated cross on the wall, I offered a prayer of surrender, a place where heartache met hope. "Shepherd of my soul, I place my worries into your hands. Teach me to trust in your eternal plan, to act with courage and compassion beyond my understanding." The response came not as a voice, but as a quiet assurance, a gentle nudge that each act of kindness, regardless of its size, resonates far beyond the moment, touching lives in ways unseen, echoing through eternity's corridors. I rose from my seat with renewed resolve, twilight's gentle grace lifting the uncertainty, feeling lighter, as if each star appearing in the sky was a celestial reminder of unseen wonders at work. Night's whisper, evening culminated in a gentle rain, droplets serenading the classroom window panes with their rhythmic dance, tapping softly like a heart beating in restful slumber. Gathering my belongings, the soothing patter was echoed by faint footsteps in the hall, signaling the day's quiet conclusion. As I stepped into the night, the cool raindrops kissed my skin like a baptism, cleansing away doubts and fears, renewing my spirit. Each step grew more certain, more in tune with the divine tapestry woven within and around me. Streetlights painted the wet pavement with an orange glow, transforming the ordinary into the sacred, casting reflections that danced like firelight in the rain, walking beneath their warm glow. Each breath became a silent prayer of thanksgiving for the day's lessons, and for children who, in their simplicity and innocence, unfurled the grandeur of grace and resilience before my eyes. Lord of all, guide my steps through life's moments. eternal wisdom. Let each act of kindness reflect your love. May my heart remain open to your voice, and my actions always honor your. Act high, the storm before dawn. In the stillness of the pre-dawn hour, the soft rain brushes against the small windows of Gregorio's bakery. A gentle whisper reminiscent of heaven's voice, delicate yet undeniable inside. The air is imbued with the scent of fermenting yeast, mingling with the warm aroma of flour dust that swirls like ethereal snowflakes, settling upon every surface and enveloping the room in a light, comforting blanket of peace. Gregorio, a devoted immigrant from a distant land, stands alone amidst the silence, kneading dough with steady, calloused hands that speak of years of labor and love. His heart, however, is far from tranquil. It bears the heavy burden of sustaining his small family through the modest earnings of this humble bakery. He pauses, leaning against the worn wooden table that bears the marks of countless mornings like this one. Lord of mercy, he prays aloud, his voice a gentle plea that rises with the steam from the ovens. Give me strength to face another day. I am weary, and the weight is heavy. Guide my hands and heart. With faith born of necessity, the rhythm of kneading resumes, the dough miraculously yielding under his fingers as if in response to his prayer. A tactile dance of faith against the creeping despair. The presence of the Holy One feels near, like a tender yet firm embrace. Yet Gregorio wonders if his fervent words have reached beyond the ceiling of his humble shop to touch the heavens above. The temptation of rivalry. Barely an hour later, the rising sun begins to paint the sky with the first strokes of dawn. Delicate hues of pink and gold spilling over the horizon. Gregorio prepares the first batch of bread, the loaves swelling in the oven, their golden crusts forming with the promise of sustenance. As he works, thoughts of Samuel, the rival baker on the next street over, intrude upon his piece. Samuel's store, with its bustling customers, has drawn many away from Gregorio's own modest business. A flicker of envy ignites in his heart, threatening to consume him, a temptation to bitterness he cannot easily extinguish. Driven by the storm within, Gregorio finds himself standing at the window, the rain still falling in gentle, persistent drops. His eyes close, and a prayer stirs within him, raw and honest, filled with anger and confusion. Shepherd of my soul, he whispers, the words trembling in the stillness. Why do you let my bread go unchosen? Teach me to trust your path, even when my own feet falter. In the silence that ensues, a new thought blossoms in his mind, delicate yet insistent, as if carried on the whispering wind. A subtle, divine nudge towards something unexpected. The bread of brotherhood, as the morning unfolds in a gentle cascade of light. Gregorio takes his fresh loaves, their crust golden and inviting, and wraps them with care. Like precious offerings despite the inner turmoil, a quiet resolve forms within him. He will visit Samuel. With each step in the rain, the weight of his burden shifts slightly, transforming into something lighter. A relinquishment of the rivalry that has long shadowed his heart. At Samuel's door, Gregorio pauses, taking a deep breath before entering. The sight of the rival baker glancing up in surprise is almost comforting. Without a word, Gregorio offers the bread, his eyes meeting Samuel's with an unexpected warmth. A gesture of reconciliation. "I know times are difficult for both of us," Gregorio says, his voice barely above a whisper. "But let us lift each other in love." The act of giving, guided by a quiet prayer fulfilled, brings peace. A small redemption wrapped in a simple, vulnerable gesture. In this moment, Gregorio senses the Holy One's smile woven into the shared silence, a presence as tangible as the bread they share. Bread shared, hearts lightened, as the morning rain relinquishes its hold and gives way to gentle sunlight. The two bakers break bread together. Each bite carries a new sense of communion, a tangible grace that transcends their competition, soaking into their souls as deeply as the rain into the earth. Gregorio feels his heart lighten, the envy and bitterness washed away like the rain-soaked streets outside. In this unexpected companionship, the gentle guidance of the shepherd of his soul becomes ever clearer. He understands now that the path of humility and love is one that he can tread with a strength not his own, a path made easier by grace and shared humanity. Lord of mercy, who breathes life into the weary soul and guides our hands in love, teach us to seek unity over rivalry, to choose grace over bitters. May our hearts beat in harmony with yours, and our deeds reflect your infinite compassion. Amen. Hope holds the frayed edge. Act I, night vigil. The hospital hallway stretched quietly, its polished linoleum reflecting the faint, sterile glow of the overhead lights. The corridor seemed to stretch endlessly, an expanse that felt both vast and constrained. Coffee cups scattered like sentinels, and the persistent scent of sanitizer formed a backdrop, whispering tales of fatigue and vigilance. The hum of machines rose and fell like a constant mechanical breath, an unsettling symphony that underscored my frayed nerves as I sat in a hard plastic chair. Each tick of the clock resounded in my ears, a relentless march toward a future I dreaded to meet. Leaning forward, elbows resting heavily on my knees, I clasped my trembling hands in prayer. Lord of mercy, I'm scared, I don't know what to do, and I'm afraid of losing him. Please guide the doctors and calm my heart. My whispered plea, barely audible, seemed small yet sincere, floating upward like a fragile balloon into the vast void of the hospital night. Silence followed, profound and expectant, as if the very walls had drawn breath and paused, listening. A nurse walked by, her steps soft, a quiet presence amidst the chaos. She paused, sensing the invisible weight of my distress. Her gentle hand rested on my shoulder, a quiet testament to my desperate prayer. Her touch offered a balm, a wordless assurance that I wasn't alone in this sea of uncertainty, that God often sent comfort through the silent kindnesses of others during our darkest times. As dawn neared, the hospital exhaled. Releasing the night's accumulated tension, I paced, my boots tapping a rhythmic echo of my anxious thoughts across the sterile tiles. The air hinted at morning, brushing against my skin with a chill that promised warmth. Pale gold light began to edge through the small window at the end of the hallway, slowly painting the drab walls with hopeful shadows. In that serene, in-between moment, an epiphany settled upon me. I needed more than comfort, I needed to surrender. Bowing my head, I prayed more deeply. Shepherd of my soul, forgive my fears, teach me to trust your plan, even when I don't understand. Help me release my grip on control, to rest in your presence. Each word was an offering, a step toward relinquishing my tightly held control and embracing trust. A gentle certainty settled within me like sunlight gently permeating the night. It was a whisper, not in words, but in an unshakable assurance that filled the spaces between my thoughts. Be still and know that I am God. The persistent hum of the hospital harmonized with this divine presence, transforming into a quiet symphony of assurance that soothed the edges of my anxious spirit. A call to reconcile. A gentle nudge toward reconciliation came like a soft breeze. Barely perceptible, yet undeniably present part of me resisted. But hope clung to that frayed edge. Taking a deep, steadying breath, I reached for my phone and called my brother. A pause lingered on the line, a moment stretched taut with years of unspoken words, before his voice, tentative yet warm, replied. Andrew, it's me, I began. The words stumbling out yet flowing with an unexpected clarity, born from prayer. I wanted to tell you about Dad, and I'm sorry. Can we start fresh? Unrehearsed, they carried the weight of buried hopes and newly found grace, a fragile bridge built on faith. His response was soothing, a melody of two voices weaving together across past hurts, a tentative bridge rebuilt in the quiet hallway. It wasn't dramatic but deeply transformative, sparked by a prayer of surrender. Each word shared laid a brick on the bridge we both needed, guided by newfound trust in God's timing and grace. Holy One, you who know our hearts, guide us through the shadows to your light. Grant us courage to mend what is broken, and peace to trust in your eternal plan. In your name, we find our hope renewed. Amen. faith in the dawn's ember. Act I amidst the ashes. As the pale gold light of dawn filters through the ancient, towering trees, I step over the charred remains of what once was a cherished family home. The quiet of the early morning is broken only by the distant chirp of awakening birds, a stark contrast to the chaos that engulfed this place just hours before. My firefighter's jacket, heavy with the scent of smoke and sweat, bears silent witness to the fierce battle we waged against the relentless blaze. The air remains dense with the acrid scent of smoke, lingering like a ghost of what was tragically lost. Clutched within my gloved hand is a child's drawing discovered amidst the ruins. A simple depiction of a bright, cheerful house with a radiant sun above, its golden rays embracing stick figures who smile with innocent joy. My heart aches with survivor guilt while we raced against the flames, hoping to save this home. We are now left with nothing but haunting ashes, a poignant reminder of life's fragility. The scene around me is one of stark devastation. Blackened timbers jute out like skeletal remains against the soft morning glow. A poignant silence reigns, marked occasionally by the soft rustle of leaves or the crackling remnants of embers extinguishing their defiant flames. My eyes catch a glimmer amidst the soot, a small metal key half buried beneath the dusting of ash. I pick it up gently, feeling its cold weight in my hand. It seems more than just a key, but a symbol of something precious lost, perhaps waiting to be rediscovered. I take a deep breath, the cool air of the morning filling my lungs with a soothing balm. Lord of mercy, I murmur, my voice barely rising above the whispering wind. Why did they perish and I remain? I need your strength to carry this weight. I close my eyes against the rising sun's tender light, a solitary tear slipping down my cheek, cutting a clean path through the soot. Shepherd of my soul, I pray, my words raw and unfiltered, pouring from the depths of my weary spirit. Guide me through this valley of shadow and despair. The timeless words of Psalm 23 echo within my heart, a soothing balm, even as my tears fall silently to the earth. The child's drawing flutters gently against my knee in the morning breeze, cryptically whispering tales of innocence and undying hope. I feel a pull, a gentle yet insistent nudge, somewhere deep within my soul, urging me to pause and listen. Silence engulfs me, not an empty void, but a sacred space brimming with promise. It feels as though God himself leans near, attentively listening to the cries of my heart as the wind weaves its way through the tall charred trees, carrying with it the sense of nature's resilience and rebirth. I begin to grasp a simple truth: I cannot bear this burden alone. A warmth begins to spread within me, like the first rays of dawn, gently pushing back the oppressive night, carrying with it a quiet, steadfast hope. I rise slowly, feeling the cold earth's reluctant grip release my knees. The key dangles from my fingers, its true meaning still shrouded in mystery. Yet I am not alone, I turn to face the new day, stepping carefully over debris, that once told the vibrant story of a family's life. Holy One, I speak again, now with newfound resolve and clarity. Teach me to find peace that surpasses all understanding. Let faith accompany patience as I learn to live anew. With each step I take, a sense of lightness envelops me, as if the small key in my hand somehow unlocks a truth greater than anything I can currently comprehend. I cross the street towards the staging area, the sun now casting long, stretching shadows behind me. A testament to the lengthening day that lies before us. There's work to be done, stories to be heard, lives to help rebuild. Each action I undertake transforms into a silent prayer. Each breath becomes a step toward healing and redemption. I approach the family gathering tent where volunteers and survivors have assembled, sharing coffee, comfort, and stories. The air vibrates with a symphony of whispered reassurances and gentle cries, a testament to human resilience in the face of unspeakable tragedy. Among them, I notice a child, the little artist of the drawing I found, clutching a beloved stuffed toy with an expression of lost innocence etched upon their face. I kneel beside them, extending the key with gentle curiosity. "Is this yours?" I ask softly. Their eyes light up, a spark of joy cutting through the shroud of their sorrow. In that exchange, I sense God's guiding hand, a tender reminder that hope reclaims all it touches. Lord, who holds the dawn, in my darkest moments, you are my light. Guide my steps with your gentle hand. Help me carry both the sorrow and the hope. Fill my heart with faith and patience. listen to the trees pray. Cacti, winter breathe. I stand shivering outside the shelter, winter's breath slicing through my layers with a merciless precision, testing my resolve as each gust gnaws deeper into the fabric of my soul. The sky looms gray above, a heavy veil poised to unleash a fresh barrage of snow, the cold creeping into my bones, making them ache inside. The air is warmer, charged with the soft murmurs of those seeking refuge, each voice a tapestry of struggle and survival. I volunteer here every Tuesday, offering bowls of steaming soup and tattered blankets as a balm against the relentless cold. But tonight feels different. A heaviness anchors me, weighing down my shoulders as if I am burdened by more than just the chill. I clutch the inventory list, my heart sinking with each item checked off. We're short a blanket. It feels like an insurmountable chasm, a stark reminder of need unmet and vulnerability unfettered. Guilt knots in my chest as I survey the dimly lit room. By the window, a man sits alone, eyes tired, face etched with the maps of hardships traveled. His thin coat is no match for the biting cold. A silhouette of vulnerability against the frost-painted glass. I bow my head, whispering amidst the noise, Lord of mercy, help this man find warmth tonight, show me a way. My words, like smoke curling towards a distant heaven, rise. I listen amid the mix of hope and despair that permeates the air. Outside, barren trees sway, branches whispering secrets to the wind. As if nature itself joins my silent vigil, each rustle a prayer to the heavens. Morning arrives with the sun breaking through clouds, casting hopeful light over budding branches that seem to reach for the sky in gratitude. The air is crisp, filled with the scent of renewal and redemption. I wake from fitful sleep, the man's shivering form lingering in my thoughts like a specter from the night. I slip into prayer, now with determination forged in the dawning light. Holy One, use me, transform my fears into action. A nudge, gentle yet insistent, guides me to my closet where I find an extra pair of shoes. Memories of last summer flit through my mind. The shoes were an impulsive purchase, a luxury in a season where I had forgotten the weight of necessity. As I cradle them, an idea takes root, a response to last night's desperate prayer. A quiet affirmation stirs within, as if the trees outside nod in encouragement. Their budding branches sway in gently, each movement a silent testimony to hope and rebirth. The city buzzes with summer's nostalgia as I head downtown, the streets alive with vibrant life and laughter echoing off the buildings. The cacophony of cicadas is a curious anthem, leading me back to the shelter with shoes in hand. My heart a bundle of hope wrapped in practicality inside. The man from last night sits hunched over a bowl of soup, his presence a familiar beacon in the crowded room. My heart quickens, trepidation and hope intertwined, each a note in a divine symphony. I kneel beside him, presenting the shoes with shaky hands, a gift wrapped in humility and prayer. I noticed you might need these. I say softly, prayer woven into each syllable. His eyes meet mine, disbelief slowly softening into gratitude, kindling light where shadow had been. His whispered thank you barely rises above the cicadas, yet it resonates deeply, dismantling my burden and replacing it with warmth, a tapestry of human kindness woven by divine hands. Weeks pass, and I watch the man return. Now wearing the shoes, a testament to love's transformative power. A transformation stirs within me, gentle yet profound, like the first autumn leaf letting go after summer's embrace. His steps are sure, his presence a part of the light, now casting longer shadows as the days shorten. Trees stand fuller, branches heavy with whispered stories, their leaves a chorus of prayers in nature's symphony. I see each leaf as a prayer, guided by the shepherd, transforming hearts quietly yet powerfully. It's a reminder that no act of kindness is too small in the grand narrative of grace, each gesture an echo in the vast expanse of God's love. Holy One, guide my heart to listen more deeply, to see your answers in the simple and small. May I be moved to share, to give, to act on your whispered truths. Let my life be a prayer of love in motion, attuned to your sacred pulse. Amen.
Act I, the gathering storm. The salty air weighed heavily over the fishing village, a foreboding presence heralding the coming tempest. Dusk stretched its long shadows over the cobblestone paths, presenting the village in a chiaroscuro of light and dark. As ghostly fingers reached through the dim twilight, humble cottages, their windows aglow with the warm orange hues of hearth fires, stood resolute against the chill of the sea breeze that spoke in whispers of storms, both past and those yet to come. Atop the hill, the village chapel, a modest sanctuary with its peeling white paint reminiscent of forgotten seashells, reached skyward. Its belfry, a vigilant sentinel, overlooked the restless sea, the structure a steadfast beacon of hope anchoring souls against life's turbulent waters.
Inside the chapel thronged with villagers, their voices a low hum beneath the old rafters, reminiscent of leaves rustling softly in a dense forest. Anticipation thickened the air as dusk deepened, whispering on the wings of an evening alive with possibilities. A storm brewed in the skies, and in their hearts Matthias, the village elder and a man of deep faith, peered out through the chapel window at the steel gray sea, its surface mirroring the cloud-laden sky above. His heart ached with the familiar heaviness, a father's worry for his long-lost son, Daniel. Lord of mercy, Matthias whispered, sun-worn hands clasped in prayer over the simple offering of bread and salt before him. Protect us from the storm outside and within, bring him back to us, I pray. His plea, though soft, was steadfast, brimming with the unyielding love of a father. The chapel's air, a blend of damp earth, aged wood, and unshed tears, carried Matthias' supplication heavenward, buoyed by faith in the enduring depths of desperation.
Outside, the wind howled with a ferocity that shook the very bones of the village, rattling windows and causing the chapel doors to tremble. As if echoing some ancient lament amid the tempest, Daniel trudged homeward, his coat sodden and heavy with relentless sea spray. He had left the village in a fury, chasing dreams that crumbled beneath his feet like fragile sand castles. Leaving him worn and disillusioned, each step towards the chapel felt like an act of contrition, a powerful return to the hearth he had once forsaken. Within the chapel, the villagers turned, eyes aglow with a mingling of surprise and profound relief. As the heavy chapel door creaked open, its sound resonant like a whispered promise, Daniel stood framed by twilight, hardship and regret starkly etched upon his face, the weight of his journey visibly borne on his weary shoulders. As he crossed the threshold, the chapel's warmth enveloped him, a blessing and a balm for his battered spirit.
Father, he began, his voice thick with emotion, as he knelt before Matthias. Forgive me, I have lost my way. His words, a raw confession, reached out for absolution from his lifelong guide and shepherd.
Matthias, tears brimming in his eyes, placed a calloused hand upon his son's shoulder, the touch a manifestation of love and unwavering acceptance. The shepherd of my soul hears every plea, he murmured softly, drawing Daniel into a forgiving embrace. You are home.
Together they knelt in silent prayer, surrendering their burdens and finding restoration, their hearts beating in unison with the newfound peace. It was as if the Holy One spoke into the storm, calming their spirits with an outpouring of renewal and grace. A new dawn, new dawn. The storm's fury continued to rage, but within the chapel's hallowed walls, peace reigned supreme. Morning broke with the storm clouds parting to unveil a world kissed by the sun, washed clean and glistening with the promise of new beginnings. Villagers gathered once more, hearts buoyed by the scent of fresh bread, mingling with the crisp and vibrant air, a testament to resilience and unbreakable community bonds.
At the altar, Matthias stood firm, his voice steady as he led a litany of thanksgiving. Behold, I make all things new. He declared, his words an echo of the divine promise that had carried them all through the enveloping darkness. His voice became a beacon, calling all gathered to witness grace's unfolding majesty. Beside him Daniel stood, his past burdens lifted by grace, the shadows of his journey transformed into a tapestry of wisdom. With each prayerful word spoken, he felt life's newness unfurl within him, assured now that God had made him whole again. Lessons from his journey and the community's warm embrace turned his heart toward redemption, rendering him a living testament to the transformative power of faith and love.
Holy One, who calms the storm.
in the pre-dawn quiet, when the town still slumbered beneath a veil of mist. A humble bakery nestled between silent streets began its day. The cool air whispered through the alleyways, carrying a hint of flower dust under the flickering street lamps' glow, as if the very night exhaled in contentment. Inside, Maria, an immigrant whose roots clung to distant soils, prepared her workspace with a ritualistic reverence. A silent liturgy of dough and yeast, alone but not lonely, accompanied by the soft hum of the refrigerator and the rhythmic ticking of the clock. Maria kneaded dough with hands that seemed to dance with grace, each twist and turn an unspoken prayer. Lord of mercy, she murmured, her words rising like incense to heaven, an offering at God's altar. This morning, however, a heavy unease settled over her heart like a storm cloud gathering in the distance. A new bakery had opened across the street, its modern facade a stark contrast to a quaint shop. Ivan, the owner, had swiftly drawn away her loyal customers, and Maria felt the weight of dwindling sales press against her chest. Pausing with flour-dusted hands, she gazed out the window, where the sky began to flush with the first hues of dawn. Holy One, give me strength, she prayed, her voice barely a whisper, trembling like a leaf in a breeze. Help me walk by faith in that hushed plea. She released her anxieties into the hands of the shepherd of her soul, trusting he would guide her through the shadowed valley. As the dawn's first light spilled over the horizon, a golden hue filled the bakery, casting warm, gentle shadows that danced across the walls, promising new beginnings. Maria's heart felt lighter, lifted by unseen loving hands. She remembered that her faith, like the bread she lovingly crafted, required time to rise, to develop its full strength and flavor, nurtured by patience and grace. Outside, the city began to stir, the sounds of morning harmonizing with her rhythmic work. Her hands molded dough into loaves that were silent vows of resilience and hope. As she placed them in the oven, she embraced the new day with renewed optimism. A tug at her soul turned her thoughts toward Ivan. She recalled his often burdened look and felt a surge of compassion. Holy One, teach me compassion, she prayed, her heart opening in a way it hadn't before, bridging the divide that earlier competition had dug between them. A warmth filled her, as if God himself whispered forgiveness into her heart, planting seeds of peace and understanding. As the day wore on and the bakery buzzed with light, Maria felt a divine urge, a push from the Spirit, urging her to extend kindness beyond her own walls. With a basket of freshly baked bread, crust still crackling from the oven's gentle kiss, she stepped into the bright morning. Each step across the street was a testament to her prayed for faith, a pilgrimage of humility and love. She found Ivan at his display, arranging pastries with the precision of an artist. The lines of the morning sun draped over him, mingling their shadows, as if heaven's light wished to join their hands. I brought you some bread, Maria said softly, her heart pounding with a mix of courage and vulnerability. Ivan glanced up, surprise flitting across his face. Before his features softened into a wary smile, he hesitated, then accepted the basket. Genuine gratitude softening the lines of stress on his brow. In that simple shared gesture, Maria felt a weight lift from her spirit, replaced by an overwhelming peace, like sunlight breaking through the storm-heavy clouds. They both sensed God's guidance, His gentle hand stitching them together like a lighthouse for ships once lost in the fog. In the days that followed, a subtle transformation began, spreading like ripples across a still pond. Word of Maria's generous spirit and unexpected kindness spread through the community like wildfire, drawing new customers eager not just for her bread, but for the story of grace kneaded into every loaf. Her bakery flourished, not through the cutthroat competition of commerce, but through their
The dish rolls through an endless desert, its hum a melody in the silence. The road stretches like a ribbon through golden sands, shimmering under the sun, beneath a vast sky. Each dune rises and falls like ocean waves. I clutch a thermos of tea, a talisman against the knot in my stomach. The bus's air is a blend of warm leather and dust, livened by the tea's citrusy tang, offering a momentary escape from my anxious thoughts. Across the aisle, a man with suntanned skin catches my eye. His deep eyes are a calm sea amidst my turmoil. As the bus jolts over a rugged road, my thoughts return to what awaits me. The words I fear to confess loom large, a truth carried too long in silence. My heartbeat echoing the daunting step I must take. at my thermos as if it holds answers. I pour him a cup, the tea steam curling between us, a promise of connection. Thank you, he says, his voice a soothing rumble. He hands me a dog-eared Bible, its cover worn by faith. This keeps me grounded, he says sincerely. I flip it open, a verse tumbles into my lap, offering courage and guidance. My heart strains against fear, the words illuminating my path. I hear God whispering into my soul, urging fearlessness and trust beyond the visible horizon. A call both daunting and comforting, a crisis of heart. The journey continues, the sun dips low, sky painted in fiery hues, mirroring my inner tumult. My hands tremble with feelings I can no longer contain as I bow my head, letting a prayer spill forth. Lord of mercy, I feel small. I pray, I stand on the edge of confession, afraid. Give me strength. The stranger senses my distress, offering a comforting glance, a reminder that the shepherd of my soul is near. It's as if God through him whispers reassurance into my fear, transforming dread into a calmness that settles like dawn. Stars start their watch in the desert sky, casting an ancient glow. I sense peace settling over the desert, and my heart alight. God's presence, a comforting light against the vast unknown. Steps of courage, with my heart whispering the turning prayer, I softly confess, Holy One, I surrender this fear to you. Grant me courage to step forward in truth. As I rise, the bus nears its stop. The desert wind greets us with a cold embrace, an undeniable reminder of journey's end and something new beginning. I walk towards destiny, each step a prayer, each breath a promise to God. The stranger's gaze is upon me, a silent sentry to my courage, a witness to my journey from fear to faith. His eyes speak encouragement as I near my destination. My pulse quickens, but fear recedes, replaced by serene certainty. Grace lighting my path amidst uncertainty. Inside the room is warm, the aroma of home-cooked meals mingling with laughter, a tapestry of belonging and love. Taking a deep breath, I step forward, my confession, a bridge to understanding and love. Lord, who gives strength to the weary, I place my heart in your hands. Guide me in your truth and love. Grant me courage to live openly. May your grace light standing in the echo. Acti whispers in the shadows. The cathedral towers ancient and majestic, its spires cutting through the night sky, surrounded by stars like whispered, forgotten prayers. As I push open the heavy oak doors, their creak echoes centuries of devotion. A chill follows me, a shadow seeking refuge. The scent of incense lingers, a soothing balm against the city's decay. Just outside. Inside, vast silence envelops me, both empty and full, where voices of the past seem to linger in the rafters. My mop sloshes in its bucket, the water echoing in the hallowed space. Each stroke is a rhythm, a heartbeat in this sacred domain, whispering tales of old saints and sinners who sought solace here. But tonight the rhythm falters, unsettled by shadows whispering my name. I feel pressure on my chest, an unseen force urging me to my knees, a longing to belong gnawing at my spirit. Kneeling on the mosaic floor, cool tiles imprint on my skin. Clasping my hands, I close my eyes. Every breath is a prayer, each moment an offering. Oh Lord, shepherd of my soul, I whisper, my voice trembling. I feel so small, so unseen. If I am meant to stand where others fall, show me, help me belong. The wind breathes through stained glass, a fleeting comfort, but my heart remains a tempest of doubt, wrestling with unbanished shadows. I can music of the heartening, its low notes vibrating through the air, touching the depths of my heart. I pause, mop in hand, as the music swells, filling my emptiness. The sound wraps around me, lifting my gaze to vaulted ceilings where shadows dance to a melody only angels hear. Each note unfurls like petals, opening my heart to grace. A solitary lamp flickers by the altar, casting a circle of light that draws my gaze like a moth to a flame. I step closer, breath intermingling with the melody, a silent prayer. This hallowed corner stirs with peace, cutting through my lingering dread. Once more I kneel, the stone warm beneath my touch, as if holding ancient prayers. My fingers trace patterns worn smooth by countless pilgrims. My prayer becomes melody, offered between organ notes. Lord of mercy, I'm listening. Guide me through this night, for in your light I find belonging. I envision a guiding light, revealing unseen paths. The lamp's glow beckons, urging me to act as muse. music fades to stillness, I stand, feeling resolve in my chest. The silence holds my answer, a quiet urging to be more than an observer, to serve beyond cleaning floors. Footsteps echo through the pews, leading to the vestry, where church needs are pinned on tidy lists. A tapestry of service opportunities. My hand reaches for a pen, ink pooling with possibilities. Trembling with courage, I sign up for a role. Heart pounding with purpose, a leap of faith I didn't know I had here. The mundane mingles with the divine, weaving a tapestry of community where I find my place. This prayer turns surrender into courage, courage into belonging. The spirit's warmth settles in my heart, kindling a guiding flame. Night retreats, making way for dawn's gentle hues. The cathedral facade basks in first light, each ray a golden promise inscribed on ancient stones outside. Air crisp on my skin, my spirit lightened, transform. The city awakens, testament to resilience and hope. I found footing where others might stumble, my path illuminated by whispers and sacred solitude. A new day beckons, filled with opportunities to serve, each act reflecting love I found. Each step forward is testament to grace guiding me, a promise of belonging grounded in faith. Holy One, guide my every step. In your light, let me find my place. May service be my song, and your love my strength. Faith in the dawn's ember, cacti amidst the ashes, as the pale gold light of dawn filters through the ancient towering trees. I step over the charred remains of what once was a cherished family home. The quiet of the early morning is broken only by the distant chirp of awakening birds, a stark contrast to the chaos that engulfed this place just hours before. My firefighter's jacket, heavy with the scent of smoke and sweat, bears silent witness to the fierce battle we waged against the relentless blaze. The air remains dense with the acrid scent of smoke, lingering like a ghost of what was tragically lost. Clutched within my gloved hand is a child's drawing discovered amidst the ruins, a simple depiction of a bright, cheerful house with a radiant sun above, its golden rays embracing stick figures who smile with innocent joy. My heart aches with survivor guilt, with nothing but haunting ashes, a poignant reminder of life's fragility. The scene around me is one of stark devastation. Blackened timbers jut out like skeletal remains against the soft morning glow. A poignant silence reigns, marked occasionally by the soft rustle of leaves or the crackling remnants of embers extinguishing their defiant flames. My eyes catch a glimmer amidst the suit, a small metal key half buried beneath the dusting of ash. I pick it up gently, feeling its cold weight in my hand. It seems more than just a key, but a symbol of something precious lost, perhaps waiting to be rediscovered. I take a deep breath, the cool air of the morning filling my lungs with a soothing balm. Lord of mercy, I murmur, my voice barely rising above the whispering wind. Why did they perish and I remain? I need your strength to carry this weight. Kneeling on the cold, hard ground, I close my eyes against the rising sun's tender light. A solitary tear slipping down my cheek, cutting a clean path through the soot. Shepherd of my soul, I pray, my words raw and unfiltered, pouring from the depths of my weary spirit. Guide me through this valley of shadow and despair. The timeless words of Psalm 23 echo within my heart, a soothing balm even as my tears fall silently to the earth. The child's drawing flutters gently against my knee in the morning breeze, cryptically whispering tales of innocence and undying hope. I feel a pull, a gentle yet insistent nudge, somewhere deep within my soul, urging me to pause and listen. Silence engulfs me, not an empty void, but a sacred space brimming with promise. It feels as though God himself leans near, attentively listening to the cries of my heart as the wind weaves its way through the tall charred trees, carrying with it the scent of nature's resilience and rebirth. I begin to grasp a simple truth: I cannot bear this burden alone. A warmth begins to spread within me, like the first rays of dawn, gently pushing back the oppressive night, carrying with it a quiet, steadfast hope. A turning prayer, I rise slowly, feeling the cold earth's reluctant grip release my knees. The key dangles from my fingers, its true meaning still shrouded in mystery. Yet I am not alone, I turn to face the new day, stepping carefully over debris that once told the vibrant story of a family's life. Holy One, I speak again, now with newfound resolve and clarity. Teach me to find peace that surpasses all understanding. Let faith accompany patience as I learn to live take, a sense of lightness envelops me, as if the small key in my hand somehow unlocks a truth greater than anything I can currently comprehend. I cross the street towards the staging area, the sun now casting long stretching shadows behind me, a testament to the lengthening day that lies before us. There's work to be done, stories to be heard, lives to help rebuild. Each action I undertake transforms its.
At dawn, the air reception area lay wrapped in pale gold light, a serene facade belying the chaos it would soon host. The room itself seemed to hold its breath, as if aware of its dual role. As a sanctuary of healing and a theater of crisis, Sophia paused, touching the cool steel counter, drawing strength from its solidity. It was a ritual she performed religiously each morning, a silent pact of preparation. This silence was a fleeting gift before the day's cacophony of noise and demands. The scent of antiseptic mingled with hospital-grade coffee, a bittersweet comfort she clung to in these early hours. Taking a deep breath, Sophia prepared herself for the voices she would soon navigate. Each name she registered was a thread in a tapestry of unspoken stories. Her fingers brushed the patient logs, tracing the invisible ink of human lives intersecting with hers, blessed with an uncanny ability to remember names. Today, an unsettling forgetfulness clouded her mind, a fog threatening to unravel her confidence like an artist suddenly unsure of their canvas. Before the phones erupted, Sophia bowed her head, whispering into the sacred silence, "Lord of mercy, grant me grace today. Let none of your children go unseen. Help me remember their names, know their stories as you do." Her voice was a hushed plea for clarity amidst the swirling tide of human needs, a hope for a steady anchor in rough seas. The calm dissolved as the shrill ring of the phones began, filling the room with frenetic energy. Each ring was a call to action, summoning forth the day's unrelenting tide, a steady stream of humanity. Each individual carried urgent worries and unspoken fears. They were like fallen leaves swept into a current, each turning and twisting with their private turmoil. Sophia's gaze was warm, but her mind felt disjointed, her prayers for each patient a murmured refrain that struggled against the noise. A tear-stained mother clutched her fevered child's hand, her eyes a well of desperation. An elderly man awaited news, anxiety barely concealed, his fingers tapping a silent rhythm of dread names, slipped through Sophia's grasp, elusive in their urgency as if they were autumn leaves in a brisk wind. Frustration built, eroding her confidence, her heart clenched with each forgotten name. Between calls she prayed again, gripping her mug tightly, holy, I'm losing them. Help me hear you in this chaos, speak their names to me so I might reflect your love. A moment of surrender, as the sun climbed its rays, slanting through the windows like fingers of divine reassurance. Sophia felt her resolve crack, her heart raced, each beat a reminder of her inability to meet the day's demands alone. She closed her eyes for a brief respite, seeking calm amidst turmoil, her breath a measured prayer. Retreating to a corner, she surrendered in a heartfelt prayer. Shepherd of my soul, she whispered, her voice trembling, I can't do this alone. Show me peace in the storm, I surrender my pride. My need to do this perfectly, guide my heart and let your presence fill this place. In that surrender, she felt a shift, a whisper of guidance from within, like a gentle breeze breaking through stagnant air. A moment of clarity amidst the storm. The fog lifted, the names were not lost, they were known, each one inscribed on the heart of the divine. The realization washed over her, a tide of warmth and assures. The constellation of grace returning to her station. Sophia was transformed, the phones clamored, chaos persisted. But she moved with renewed purpose and peace. Her steps were lighter and her heart, once burdened, now beat in time with a quieter rhythm. Each name became a prayer, each interaction a chance to reflect God's grace. The elderly man, patient and strong, was greeted with a smile that touched something eternal, a silent communion that spoke louder than words. The mother, clenching her child's hand, received compassion, whispering of divine love, a balm on her worried soul. Sophia no longer feared forgetting, trusting in the one who remembers all. Her prayer became a rhythm, a quiet cadence with every word, echoing the steady pulse of faith that underscored her day. Names with threads in a tapestry of grace, illuminated by the divine light she invited into her day. Lord of all names, you remember each of us. You see what we fail to see. Let your love guide our actions, your peace dwell in our hearts. Help us name the grace you give with every breath.